Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. A pair of Huskers wrapped up pool play at the FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying. Current Nebraska basketball player Rink Mast played in all three games for the Netherlands. He averaged 6 points, 6 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game. The Netherlands did not advance to the semifinals. Former Husker Thorir Thorbjarnsen led Iceland to their first victory in Group C with a 93-76 victory over Bulgaria. Thorbjarnsen came off the bench and had 17 points on 8 of 10 shooting to go along with 4 rebounds and 2 assists in just 15 minutes of work. In other sports news, overnight, England defeated host country Australia 3-1 in the Women's World Cup to advance to the championship match against Spain on Sunday. And finally, some Major League Baseball scores. Earlier today, the Mets defeated the Pirates 8-3, the Tigers edged the Twins 8-7, the Rays beat the Giants 6-1, and the D-backs prevailed over the Rockies 9-7. Currently, the A's lead the Cardinals 4-0 in the first, the Reds lead the Guardians 1-0 in the second, and finally, the Astros lead the Marlins 5-0 in the first. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
2 to the near side, 1 to the far side. Turn, give it off to Grant. He picks his way inside the 45, bounces to the outside. 40, 35, 30, foot race now. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Snap back to Van Treese. Play actions. Gets hit as he throws. Pass headed down the end zone. Buford goes up and makes the interception at the 1-yard line. Marquise Buford's second pick of the game, and it was created by some pressure on the quarterback, Van Treese.
Red, fed left. Lindsay gets a throw. They stay with it. And Krause muscles it through a double Buckeye block. Becca Williams, Spring Lake, Texas serves back right. Nice pass, quick attack. Becca, Alec, Big Red, kaboom!
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Happy Hump Day. Halfway to another weekend. And one of the last weekends of summer, right? I mean, it's basically over. I thought about this midday today, Jessica. 2 weeks from right now, we're not even in Lincoln.
Yeah.
We're in Minneapolis. But it's going to be rocking here.
Yeah, it's going to be rocking in the stadium, yeah. And next week is game week for Husker volleyball.
Yeah.
And tomorrow night is first game for Husker soccer at Creighton. So, yeah, it is here.
Love it. Love having that happen here today. Huskers are practicing tonight. Matt Rural likes to make the Wednesday practices at night. One gives a little bit more recovery time from the Tuesday practice to Wednesday, and you're going to play games at night. And so we know we have a night game coming up. Our first home game is going to be at night. Probably another game. Well, you got Illinois is going to be a night game. Well, the opener is at night. So we know they have at least 3 night games for Husker football. So I think it's a smart move to shift a practice a week and do it at night.
How lucky have they been with weather? I went out there last Wednesday night when they had night practice. It was perfect. It was so nice out there. So, yeah, it's fun, though. It gives you kind of a feel of being under the lights. It was starting to get dark because I went out there after the show, so it was starting to get a little dark. The lights had come on. And just gives you a little juice, because there's nothing like football underneath the lights.
Not that once the season prep starts, does the competition end, but I wanted to kind of tonight talk about where we think that there's still some real battles to be starters on this football team. I mean, I think in a long way, the offensive line is pretty well set. Jeff Sims is clearly the quarterback for Nebraska. I think there's still some fluidity at the wide receiver spot. I don't know if they've clearly had a winner at the running back position. I think Coach Rural mentioned Anthony Grant and pretty positive things about him yesterday. So has Gabe won the job? I don't know that he has yet. So on offense, I think there are still some jobs to be fought for outside of offensive line and quarterback.
I wonder, too, if they're going to see how it develops the first couple of games, too, with a running back.
Well, yeah.
And see from there. I mean, we'll have a depth chart and who's going to be the number one, who's going to get the number one snap. But I kind of have a feeling that'll be fluid a little bit throughout the season just to see who's got it going. And as we've heard several times, they're going to need more than one guy. But who's going to have that hot hand when you need it, when you need to, keep grinding out the football. Who's going to be that guy for you? I don't know if we will even know until the first snap happens. But it's as much as they're going to run the football, they're going to have two guys. I think have a lot of carries.
I'm kind of glad that Coach Rural started to mention Anthony.
Yeah.
Because I think people slept on him a little. He almost had 1,000 yards a year ago, and that line struggled at times. So I think he's a heck of a back. So I love Gabe Urban. I love his mentality, the way he approaches the game. But I'm glad that Anthony has joined the fight.
I agree. You can't deny some of the things that he did last year and getting some of the big chunk plays that he had. I mean, there's no question we saw some really special plays and potential in Anthony Grant last year. And, and like you said, even with the struggles of the offensive line not necessarily really opening up a lot of holes for him at the beginning of the season. So, and without a mobile quarterback. I mean, Casey didn't run like we're going to see Jeff Sims run. So you're going to have to also, this season, teams are going to also have to prepare for that, which just allows things to open up also for the running back too.
Right. Defensively, I think, I kind of feel like they're settling into a group at linebacker. I think it's the veterans. I think it's the Reimers, and then at Kenrich. And I think M.J. Sherman's had a really good fall camp. Up front, clearly Ty Robinson's the best of the defensive linemen up front. They talk a lot about Nash. But I think there's still some playing time to be had up front. And in the secondary, I think it's kind of starting to settle down a little bit in the secondary with Malcolm Hartzog on one side. Q's, I think, locked in as one of the starting corners. And they can't go through a press conference, any of the coaches, without mentioning Isaac Gifford. So you got to feel like he's got a spot locked in.
Yeah, and I mean, he just, with that rover spot and having someone that can do a lot of different things, do they have a lot of different guys that are pretty talented and athletic? Yes, but a guy that you can rely on to throw in a bunch of different situations. That's what he was telling me. Did we run that interview yet? Yeah, it was last night, right?
We ran Jamari last night.
Have we heard? Oh, yeah, that was while you were gone. Sorry. I couldn't even remember. I can't remember.
They all run together. They all run together.
But he was saying, almost every play I'm doing something different. And where I'm lining up was almost different. And there's just very few players that can probably handle all of that, and he is definitely one of those. He's experienced. He has the skill set to do that. And so I think he's definitely a guy that Tony White has been really excited to scheme around a little bit because of all the different things that he's done. And think about how many places we've seen him play over the last few years. And so, yeah, I think he's absolutely a guy that's jumped out to them because of the different things that they can do with him given any certain play that they want to line up for.
Another spot that I think is still open is the place kicker. I don't know that either Timmy or Tristan has grabbed that. We're told that both missed kicks in the scrimmage last Saturday, so I don't think that's been. The punter is clearly Brian Buschini. He's clearly got that right. He probably had that wrapped up in April. But the kicking game, I think, is still there for the taking.
Yes, and I mean, I think, too, it very well could come back open again if you
miss a couple kicks
in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
But you definitely want to start seeing some consistency. I know that didn't Coach Rule say at his press conference that they both missed a couple kicks, which not ideal. So you want to start seeing that consistency there. And that's what even Coach Foley said, maybe one of the press conferences you were gone, that at this point you'd like to see somebody maybe start to separate, but they're not going to make that call until they feel confident with whoever that guy may be.
And I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And, you still just putting a freshman in these situations, as good as Tristan Alvano is and as excited as they are about him, it's still a lot different. And so they probably, too, also want to see how he's going to deliver in those high-pressure situations on this level, not just in the high school level.
Yeah. So some fun battles I still think are to happen. And Jessica's right. It will be fluid. It will change week to week during the season. But you kind of come out of the gate with, you have to come out of the gate with some starters. And I think there's a lot of spots that are probably locked in, but there are at least 3 or 4 on each side of the ball that are still being fought for as we hit the third week of camp going through. Social media has certainly become a huge part of sports, and I saw something today in Colorado, week 2 opponent for the Cornhuskers. They are allowing their players on their practice jerseys on the back to put their Twitter handles. So when the media is shooting practice, you're seeing guys' Twitter handles on the back of their jerseys.
Colorado.
What do you think of that?
Colorado. Wow. That's hey. Not surprising that it's Colorado, that's for sure. I mean, if anybody's going to do something like that, yeah. And I'm like, can we just get the names on the back of our players' jerseys? Because I'm still trying to figure
I'm looking at who's 23 again.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the numbers because they've changed and some guys and moving into single digits. And not surprising.
Okay, so the next time I see Coach Rural, I will say, Jessica really wants you to at least put the names on the back so we know who these guys are. But Twitter handles on the back of practice jerseys at Colorado.
Wow. That's pretty interesting. You also saw they banned red.
They have banned red. Mm-hmm. And they don't play us first. They play TCU first, but they've already I think that's been a game they have talked a lot about in Boulder.
Nebraska, yeah. Well, I mean, look at the ticket prices. They know that they were challenging their fans to buy tickets so Nebraska fans didn't get the tickets.
Freeze them out.
Yes.
Yeah, which isn't going to work.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of red in the stands when we're out there. So that was bizarre. I don't know. You're right. It's not surprising that Deion Sanders is the one that is doing this, but God, to me, it just seems like, one, shouldn't it be team over individual? This is a team sport, but you're allowing each guy to put their handle on the back of the jersey.
But again, if you're talking about recruiting and things that you're doing to help build the brand and the NIL, and a lot of that is based on your social media following and what kind of engagement you get on social media. And so if you're trying to push that and say, hey, we're going to help you build your brand, it's probably first and foremost a recruiting tool for Prime and his staff.
Yep, and for a couple of kids, that might be the difference. That may be what
if it
flips
is,
them to go.
I'm not sure I want that.
Exactly.
Player.
Right? That's exactly what I would go. Is if that's what made the deciding factor, do you really want that person on your team?
Jeremiah and I had this conversation the other night about Coach Prime that, we'll see how he does at Colorado, but that he's done a pretty solid job of hiring a good staff where he's been. And so I don't even know. It'd be fascinating to see how much decision-making he's involved in, especially with his health, how he's been over the summer. I mean, so I don't even know what kind of, how the decision process even works at Colorado. But, he's certainly made a lot of waves, that's for sure.
Today, have you caught much of the Big Ten Network camp stories?
No.
It's been hard to catch. They run that a lot of times when we're on the air at 6 o'clock at night. I did happen to catch a replay of they were at Purdue yesterday. Our Dave Redson was tweeting about Purdue. Hudson Card, who's the transfer quarterback for them from Texas. So he left Longhorn Nation, much like Casey Thompson did to Nebraska a year ago. Apparently he had a really impressive day throwing the football for Purdue. The Boilers have a really tough schedule with a first-year coach. I think they may have an uphill battle this year. But let's say BTN does a really good job with those. And I know it was distracting when they came here because that was the day the world changed with Oregon and Washington coming to the Big Ten and the Big 12 adding all those teams. In fact, Dave Revson didn't even make the trip here, I don't think.
No, the analysts were handling the interviews. And but that one thing that they both had said about when they were observing practice was how they don't know if any practice that they've been to, have they seen the head coach be the CEO-like type that Coach Rule is, where he's not just sticking with the quarterbacks or the offensive line or the defensive line. I mean, he's moving around. Yep. He's with the kickers. He is moving around all over the field. And I think if you've been to practice, you've seen that. But that's how he is throughout the entire practice. And that was pretty interesting for me to take away from what they said about Coach Rule, just that, they go to all these practices, so they see it. And so for them to say that, the way that he moves around in practice is quite not really normal, I guess, for a head coach.
Unconventional, probably.
Yeah, not really, because you normally see a head coach that maybe hones in on one position group. Maybe some head coaches like Lincoln Riley coaches their quarterbacks, so he's all in on the quarterbacks. But that was pretty interesting to me. One of my big takeaways is what they saw in practice in Coach Rule.
Crypto King in the chat room wants us to correct that it's not their Twitter handles, it's their X handle.
I know, I was going to let you know that. I'm still calling it Twitter.
Me too.
I'm not changing it. I'm not saying X.
I'm going to be stubborn about it. So I'm going to do that. BTN's about done, and I love that because they'll do a wrap-up show and give you impressions because then they'll have had eyes on all the teams in the league, all 14 teams in the league. So I love to see the wrap-up show to see where they kind of go. Not that they're going to be 100% right. None of us are. But I do like to see their wrap-up show, and they should be getting close. Because they started at Nebraska. That was their first one they went to, and that was on the 4th of August. So, yeah, they should be just about done. Today's the 16th. They should be just about finished up making their visits around the league. Now, what are you going to do next year? Add 4 more.
Yeah, they're going to start.
Do those teams join, all 4 join next year? They do, don't they?
Yes. Yeah.
Holy
You're going to have to have 2 crews going around.
Absolutely. They're probably going to have to divide and conquer.
Yeah.
To do all that. All right, here's what we have on the program tonight. Ben McLaughlin's going to pop in here. Ben's going to host Husker Game Day and our 5th quarter shows. We'll get his take on what he's hearing, seeing about Husker football as we get close to the start of this season. Then in hour 2, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. Jessica caught up with him. He graduated last Saturday. That was so cool to see that he's got his diploma. Because in a lot of ways, folks, that's kind of what it's about, right? Being a college student athlete is to get that degree. Not very many of these student athletes in any of these sports are going to go on to play professionally. So for them to come and get that degree is such a big deal. We'll hear from Isaiah coming up in hour number 2. And Dr. Chatters will be here. He is an associate executive assistant athletic director here at Nebraska. Going to talk about where they are with the strategic plan that Trev Alberts has been working on. He'll update us on a lot of things with the athletic department coming up in hour number 2. And we want you to be a part of the program with a call or a text. 402-413-2400. That is our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. We're back with Ben coming up next.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
If you're an unconditional, wholehearted, and ever so loyal Husker fan, you deserve to pay like one everywhere you go. With the free FNBO Husker Visa debit card. Fuel your fandom all season and beyond with a debit card just for you. It's free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get your free Husker Visa debit card at any branch or at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Allergy season is officially here. Your home should be a place where you can escape dust, pollen, and other allergens, but every time you enter your home, you bring them inside. John Henry's offers numerous products to remove allergens and germs from your home. Call John Henry's today to learn more about our indoor air quality products to breathe easier in your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle. There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbrothers.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics. Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates may apply and may vary by carrier.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Welcome back, Sports Nightly, here on the Huskers Radio Network. Delighted to be joined by Ben McLaughlin, who's had quite an eventful summer. You've added to your family, huh?
Yeah. We've officially switched to man-to-man around the house, so it's been interesting with a 3-week-old, but it's been great having the time at home. I think the timing couldn't have worked out better. We missed baseball season and haven't had enough time to get in somewhat of a routine before football starts. So we kind of hit the money spot in terms of timing, but let's just say sleep has been few and far between, but knowing football's on the horizon makes it a little easier.
Not too bad circles under your eyes.
No, not too bad.
Sleep.
That's why we have coffee and energy drinks.
Yeah. All right, you've been kind of following camp. You're going to be doing Husker Game Day with Damon coming up here in a couple weeks from Minneapolis. What kind of hits you as far as big storylines so far?
There's a lot to sort through. You know, I've kind of had in my mind, you know, where to start our pregame chatter for Minnesota, and it's hard to kind of thumb through it. And I feel like it changes almost daily on what's important. And I think obviously the main focus now is Matt Rule, generally the culture that he's putting in place, you know, the roots that he wants to plant the program to be. That's kind of the overarching theme, right? I feel like you kind of have two things going on. You've got a guy building a program, but you also have the on-field product, and it's hard balancing the two on what's important. And I feel like, again, that changes daily. But I think a lot of our attention is going to be on Coach Rule, in terms of what's the football look like? Is it the brand and caliber of football that he wants, that being complementary football, disciplined football, lack of penalties, those types of things that he wants his programs to be identified on. And that may not be seen in the wins and losses right away, but it's when you see it. And I think that's something that we haven't seen in recent years with Husker football. So that's kind of the first thing. How this team handles adversity, I think, is another thing high on my list, and we won't know till toe meets leather in Minneapolis when that happens. But then I think you start to get in the nitty-gritty of fall camp and everything that's brought to us, right? We just had some news brought down this week about how the wide receiver room's going to change and who's going to take the reps there. Running back, I think, is its own story. Who's going to get the lion's share of the carries there? Because not only do you have your leading rusher from last year back in Anthony Grant, but I think one of the stories right now in camp is Gabe Ervin and his physical presence and what he's looked like. People seem to forget he started as a true freshman under Coach Frost before the injury at Oklahoma. So he's put his body in a good situation. There's another name that's kind of emerged out of nowhere, and Emmett Johnson, that seems to be a bit of a spark plug for this offense. So I think you can really pick where you want to go with what your storyline is in camp. But I think, for me, as of the Xavier Betts news and the Miles Farmer news at safety, that's kind of where my attention is right now, is how Nebraska looks at the back end and who's going to make those chunk plays offensively.
Miles, and he's going to go connecting him with Coach Fisher at Syracuse. I'm almost surprised there wasn't more attrition, right? I kind of felt like there could be a mass exodus last November, December. And I think that's a credit to Coach Rural.
Yes.
And the staff that, it's guys have kind of, but you expect that, right, when you change coaches?
Absolutely. I think there's two big reasons for that. I think, one, you have to have a head coach in that has a vision and sells that vision to his players, and it be real. Players can see through fake. They know when a guy is being real and when he isn't. And the fact that so many guys were able to latch onto the early messages of Coach Rural and the vision that he has, not just as a program, but for them individually. That's one thing we keep hearing over and over again, is the family, the brotherhood, and them investing the time to get to know every single player and their background. And then I think that speaks to a lot of the guys who go somewhere new for college or being away from home for the first time. College football as a landscape is changing, but the feeling as a college player hasn't. You're still going away from home for the first time. You're still, learning all this stuff that's completely foreign to you. And I think that's really important, and what he was able to grab his meat hooks on to a lot of these guys. But I think the other thing that a lot of these college players are realizing is the transfer portal isn't this glorious place that takes you to a magical land that it used to be maybe the first year. With the thousands and thousands of players that are in this thing, I think for every success story of someone landing in a better spot, there's probably 8 or 9 or 10 other guys that would tell you that was the worst decision they could have made. Was, I had it pretty good where I was. Either I didn't find a home, or the home that I found definitely wasn't as good as where I had it. Either I'm still not getting the playing time that I want. The school that I want to isn't playing as big time football as maybe I would have liked. I'm maybe further from home than where I ended up to be, or I might have even dropped down a level to go play college football. So I think a combination of where we are with college football, but also the job that Matt Rule and his staff has done, helped that attrition, because I'm with you. I'm a little bit surprised that there isn't more than what we would have saw.
Yeah. Talking with Ben McLaughlin, he'll lead off our coverage on Husker Game Day with Damon Benning in just a couple of weeks up in Minneapolis for the opening game of the season. Matt Rule, I think Ben has done a really nice job of kind of wrapping his arms around Husker traditions, but he started his own with this single-digit thing. Yeah. What do you make of that?
It's really interesting, but I'm a guy that loves competition, and I love kind of the internal battles with the teams. And you and I cover baseball, so we kind of see it a little bit, mainly with pitchers, right? And I guess the guys with ABs too. That internal competition that's happening when the team's not playing to separate themselves in one way or another. I love the fact that that team is fighting for the right to do that, and it's a badge of honor. A little bit like the black shirt. You put on that jersey with a single digit every day, you've earned it, and everybody's seeing that number 4 on your chest, or that number 7 on your chest if you're Jeff Sims. They've known that you've earned it, and not only do they know that you've earned it, but they're your peers, and they've seen what you had to do to earn it. A little bit like the black shirt. We've covered this team long enough to know that first group, when they get handed the black shirts and there's another guy that lines up right next to you that didn't get one, he shows up to practice with a little more edge than maybe he did the day before. And I think the single-digit jersey number thing kind of has that same application. And I love it. I love it that it kind of exemplifies, what it means to be a Nebraska Cornhusker. And you said something that, to me, maybe the most impressive thing that Matt Rule has done as a head coach. It's not necessarily laying the fabric of his team, which is obviously very important, but Nebraska is a special place, and it's a different place. And when you bring in somebody that's not from here, that's not the Scott Frost, that's not somebody that's been here their whole lives, there's really two avenues you can go. You can go with learning about it and embracing it and going, this is where I am. This is where I want my home to be. Matt Rule being in the community, taking his team, he's putting his money where his mouth is and really learning what it is to be a Nebraskan and to be a Cornhusker. And I can appreciate that as opposed to other head coaches we've had in the past that's just, I'm here wearing the end, but I'm going to still do things my way. And if you like it, great. If not, so be it. And to have kind of the former, not the latter in that respect, to me is really impressive.
Yeah. All right. This season will be here quick. The other day BTN was replaying an old game, Big Ten football in 60. And Ben, it was the Wisconsin game. And I'm looking up and I'm like, I don't remember this game. And that was like 10 months ago. We had the lead with 40 seconds to go.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had so many of those the last couple of years. And I've had a lot of people go, man, this had to be so hard to call these games. I'm like, well, it would be, but we were so close in some of these. I think the hope all of us have is that Matt Rule's attention to detail may make the difference where we flip the script on a bunch of these games.
Well, it's so funny that you brought up the Wisconsin game because I've been rewatching old games for the last couple of weeks. Being at home as much as I am, I need something to do. And I was coincidentally watching the Wisconsin game from 2 years ago in Madison, where Nebraska's down 8 against this vaulted Wisconsin defense, and Nebraska's slicing and dicing them up and down the field, and they had a chance to go tie it at the end to go in Madison to go win. This after allowing the opening kickoff for a touchdown in that game. So I'm with you, and it's so sad that as a fan, you watch a game and your first thought is, well, how'd we lose this one? Right. was it the phantom punt against Michigan State? Was it the fumble against Michigan? Was it a missed field goal? Like you can point the onside kick at Northwestern. You can point to any one specific game. Like, yep, that's where we lost that one on one or two plays.
It's crazy that I'm sitting here going, I don't remember. And then they ran the wheel route and beat Javen Wright, got the ball to the 5, and then scored on 3rd and goal to beat the Huskers. And so I think it's going to be fun. I think we're all jacked up. How can you not be? Start of every year, you have to have that optimism, and it could flip.
And to have the opponent that Nebraska has week 1, Minnesota, you think about everything that Coach Rule has said he wants Nebraska to be. That's kind of what Minnesota is right now. Yeah. They're defined. They have their identity. We know exactly what we're going to get when we play the Gophers. And when Coach Rule adapts this style of offense where he wants to run the ball, he wants to run the ball downhill, he's going to get a really good test of what that's supposed to look like in the Big Ten right out of the chute in Minneapolis.
I can't wait for UNDB, BC 7 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There we go on a Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to be weird not setting my alarm for 4 a.m. for a Husker game day. But at this point, I'm up all hours of the night anyway. It doesn't even really matter what time we're on. I'll be ready for it.
You referenced baseball. I can't let you go without a question about that. We're going to have to learn a lot of new names again. A lot of new faces on the roster.
Ironically enough, one of the few times I've been out of the house was to play golf, and I ran into the head baseball coach on the golf course. And we didn't get too far into the weeds, but it is going to be a really strange fall. I mean, and this is the second year in a row we've said that, to where I'm legitimately intrigued with what we're going to see with who's out there. I mean, Kyle Perry is returning for his 19th year of college baseball, and can you tell me what his role is going to be? I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of where we're at. And this is a guy that's been in the program longer than Mojo Hagee has, and we still can't tell you, where he's going to be locked down at. It's going to be a fun fall.
You excited about the Rob Childress addition to the staff?
I am. It's always hard for us when there's coaching changes made, especially when they're Huskers like Jeff Christie and Curtis Ledbetter moving on as well. But if there's a guy to take their place, Rob Childress is right there on the list. Coach Sirianni's done a great job, being an assistant as well with the new third assistant. And to get Rob coaching again and being able to go through fundamentals and watch tape and, apply his philosophy, I think is going to be huge for the team.
All right, Minneapolis, here we come. It's one of our favorite cities.
I think there's a pork chop with my name on it waiting for me up in Minneapolis. I'll mentally prepare for that.
I like how you think. Thanks for coming in.
Of course.
Ben McLaughlin with us. Hey, folks, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. All right, phone lines, text lines open, 402-413-2400. We're back with more of the show coming up.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast, 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Did you know that Lincoln's water is 4 times more hard than what is recommended? This will shorten the life of your water heater, harm pipes through mineral buildup, and is bad for your hair, skin, and clothes. What's the solution? A water softener. Go online to jhlincoln.com to learn more about water softeners and our flexible financing offers, or call
John Henry's 435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
If unwanted hair is putting you in a prickly situation, give laser hair removal a try. Milan Laser Hair Removal delivers smooth, hair-free skin with permanent results for men and women of all skin tones. So there's no more unwanted stubble, razor burn, or ingrown hairs. Visit any of Milan Laser's 7 Nebraska locations to get 1 free treatment. Ready to never shave again? Call 833-NO-RAZOR or visit MilanLaser.com to book your free treatment and consultation. That's MilanLaser.com.
Only in Nebraska will you find a historic, record-breaking event like Nebraska Volleyball Day to honor women's athletics. The University of Nebraska Foundation invites you to be a part of Only in Nebraska, a campaign for our university's future. Another historic, record-breaking effort to engage 150,000 donors to build the future Nebraska needs right now. It's all possible, and it's all happening here, only in Nebraska. Give to support in you at onlyinnebraska.org.
Hi, this is Jim Baldonado with the Home Agency. Just like our support and enthusiasm for Husker Athletics, our multi-line insurance agencies are ready and eager to help you with your insurance needs. Don't wait for disaster to test your insurance coverage. Get ahead of the game and let our agents provide you with the peace of mind knowing that your needs will be met. For more information, call home, the home agency, that is at 1-800-245-4241. That's 1-800-245-4241. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new Solterra, Subaru's first ever all-electric and all-wheel drive vehicle. Go Big Red.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
We're back, Sports Nightly, here on a Wednesday night. Our Sports Nightly hotline, which is open and waiting for you, 402-413-2400, is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. On our text line, question, shout out to Crypto King and all my chat room friends. Go Big Greg. Greg, will it be you and Damon on the play-by-play? Yes. Damon, though, because he is still coaching some high school football at Omaha Westside, is going to miss a couple of games. He will not be at the Colorado game because of that early start, and they've got a huge game Westside does on Friday night. Logistically, just wasn't going to work out. And then that Illinois game, which is on a Friday night, right up against high school football, he will miss. So our friend, our pal, Jeremiah Searles, will be in the booth for those two games.
Yes, we had a couple of people asking if he was going to do any more broadcasting this year, and it wasn't finalized yet. So you're making the announcement.
Yeah, how about that? That'd be cool. And, you know, the best thing about that is I have to referee between you and Damon. It gets a little dicey. You and Jeremiah get along great, so I don't have it's one less thing I have to worry about for those two broadcasts.
I have to referee between you two, you and Jeremiah. I like being in the middle.
Yeah, we'll take care of that ourselves. Let's head to the phone. Let's go up to Omaha. And Josh, good evening. Josh, welcome to the program.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Yep, I just wanted to say I'm a big fan of the show. But I was calling to say that, everybody's excited about the season. Me personally, I am too, but I'm most excited about is the long-term product. I'm excited about the coaching staff that Matt Rule assembled. You know, you think about it, it's a lot of young, energetic guys. A lot of them, a handful of them NFL guys, even with the strength and condition coach. So, I'm just excited about the long-term duration of where the program, I believe, is going to go. Like I said, as far as the record this year, at worst, I felt like 7-5, and it was 5 losses. I don't see us losing all these 5 games. Kind of threw at us. But I'm just real excited moving forward. I think this team is going to resemble an NFL team real fast. More on off. Once we get running the ball, might take a couple weeks, few weeks to find our niche. Then you're going to see a lot of NFL style spread, RPOs, play action passes. Really, offense opening up. Let's look at all the speed we got at receiver since he's been there. And then as far as the defense, I'm going to make a bold prediction, y'all. I believe about week 4. Week 5 and moving after those week 4, week 5, the defense is going to really be a tenacious. I mean, like probably one of the top defensive units in the Big Ten. So that's my vote. That's how I feel. And you guys stay tuned. You heard it here first.
Great. Josh, thank you. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate you calling, and appreciate you listening to the program tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Josh.
I think he echoes what a lot of Husker fans are. They're just excited about what this staff has done to this point and can't wait for the season to go.
I will. So he started off talking about the staff that Coach Rule has assembled. I absolutely agree. Now, I think you'll see some movement in that staff because I think there's some young, talented coaches that could get opportunities to move on. I think guys like Evan Cooper will probably stay with Coach Rule. He's been with them so long. Corey Campbell. But I think the thing about Coach Rule is he knows what works with him and who works with him. And so he knows very well what kind of coaches he needs to replace. I mean, Coach Dvorak, Coach McGuire, both were like 30 under 30. And those are two guys that they kept on at Carolina, even when Coach Rule was let go. And so I think there's some young, talented coaches on this staff that will probably get some opportunities. And I think Coach Rule will be all for that. I just don't expect this entire staff to stay exactly as it is for years to come. But I do think there will be some that do stay. And I think he knows, he's so confident and understands what kind of coaches he needs to work with under in his culture and his system. He'll know exactly how to replace those guys.
Well, and the caller was referencing the NFL. I think we've already seen that with moving into dorms. That's a very much an NFL type thing to start your camp in dorms where your family, you're kind of separated from them. You don't have to worry about walking a dog or doing all those type of things. And so I think we've seen that. As far as NFL-style offense, I don't know. I mean, you're talking more about fullbacks and that type of thing. You see a little bit of that in the NFL, but we'll see. Again, I don't think we totally know. In fact, P.J. Fleck, Minnesota's head coach.
Chasing ghosts.
He gave a comment earlier to their media this week about we're chasing ghosts with this first game.
Yeah, he was saying that they're looking at film from Carolina, from Baylor, from Temple, from where the coordinators were, Carolina, South Carolina, Syracuse, and that's just not an easy task to do because that's the thing is it's not like Coach Rule's, he just picked up his staff and moved it here. I mean, Tony White hadn't been with Coach Rule before. And so, yeah, it's a lot more challenging than just looking at a previous coaching staff exactly where they did before, especially because they did come from the NFL. They won't be able to do exactly what they did in the NFL, and it won't look like what they did at Baylor. So, how
big of an impact do you think, I was asked this question today, the major rule change, folks, for college football this year is they're not going to stop the clock after a first down until the last couple minutes of the game, which is more NFL-like than college football. College football is always, you get a first down, they stop the clock, set the chains. How much do you think that will shorten the length of games? I don't know that it will shorten a lot. Maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it will shorten that much, but
I have no problem with the change. Do you?
I'm glad. Yeah, I am because nothing drives you more bonkers than getting when you need the ball back and you're out of timeouts and then they just get a first down and then it's over. But if there's still a chance there if you're out of timeouts and they don't.
Now, late in the game, they will stop it.
Yeah.
They'll go back to the college rules.
But even
in
the first half too?
Correct. No, just at the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you need the ball back or whatever and you just need to stop.
And some people say, well, what do you care if the game's 3 hours and 40 minutes long? It's not really that as much as it's a safety thing for the players. Instead of maybe having 120 snaps in a game, maybe you should take 10 or 12 snaps off. Well, that adds up over a 12-game season. That's 100 less snaps of wear and tear on young student athletes.
Well, and doesn't the substitute then change if the clock doesn't stop, or is it still the same?
It's still the same.
Yeah.
Still the same. But that's the main big rule change for college football this year is not stopping the clock after first downs made during the year. All right, appreciate the phone call. 402-413-2400. Need to slip in a break, but before I do that, I need to tell you that right now you can enjoy great value on outdoor power equipment from Steel. From gas-powered blowers, chainsaws, and more to high-performance washers built to tackle the dirtiest jobs. Find yours at STIHLdealers.com. Available at participating dealers. Back to wrap up Hour 1 next.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Our planet, it's hungry. Blessed with millions of acres in this great nation, our farmers work tirelessly to feed the planet through seasons of uncertainty and seasons of growth. It's a tough business to do alone. As owners of Central Valley Ag, it's together that we move forward. There's room at the table. Find your seat at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Okay, men, huddle up. Look, we're playing one of the best football teams in the country today, and quite frankly, we don't have a chance against these guys. Let's face it, we're going to get slaughtered out there. But the good news is that the Nebraska Lottery has scratch and lotto prizes that any one of us could win.
Yeah!
After the game, we're taking the team bus to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer to see if we can win big.
Let's go!
So let's get out there and lose with pride.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Mike Shepard or Craig Kerr in Lincoln, or Agent Jeff Martinez in Omaha today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student-athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student-athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. 402-413-2400. That's the number to be a part of the program tonight here. And the next hour, we're going to hear from Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, who graduated last weekend. This is a guy that's had an interesting kind of path through Husker football, transferred for New Mexico State, was part of the Husker team, and then decided, I don't know whether he got sideways with Mickey or what, but left the team last year. When Matt Rule got the job, he asked if he could come back, and this coaching staff, open to a lot of things, said, yeah, we're going to give you a chance. And I think he's taking full advantage of it.
Yes, and they love him. I've heard nothing but just great things about him. I think he just lost a little bit of confidence and then got a little shaken up, and then maybe just didn't think it was a fit. And then when the new coaching staff came in, and he came and talked with them, and because he did enter the portal, right?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think he just needed a fresh start with the new coaching staff, and has just absolutely done everything that they've asked him to do, and then some.
Question in the chat room, will Nebraska run option plays? I think so. I think they will. I think they can run some option out of the shotgun. I think there'll be some run-pass option, the RPO part of it. Jessica and I talked to a group from Valentino's yesterday, and they were asking how much are we going to have the fullback. We don't know. I think those are things that will get answered to all of us in weeks 1, 2, 3. Go back to PJ Fleck's comment about chasing ghosts. We're kind of chasing that too until we see him actually get out and start doing it in games.
Yeah, we've seen some of the plays on the practice field, but how much will that be in a game? I don't know.
We don't know.
Could change from week to week.
And if I did know, I wouldn't tell everybody right now.
Right. We got to keep those ghosts. We got to keep Minnesota chasing those ghosts.
Yeah, I like PJ chasing ghosts. That's a good duty for him. All right, 1 hour. Man, that went quick. Good hour in the books. We have one more to go here on our Hump Day edition of Sports Nightly from Huskers Radio Network.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
Preparation is the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. UNL is the only Big Ten university in Nebraska, part of the only conference with an academic alliance. Being in the Big Ten means superior academics, unique student opportunities, better resources, and world-class research programs. With 72% of undergraduate students receiving scholarships or financial aid, UNL offers a Big Ten education at great value.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
Good evening. I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. A pair of Huskers wrapped up pool play at the FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying. Current Nebraska basketball player Rink Mast played in all 3 games for the Netherlands. He averaged 6 points, 6 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game. The Netherlands failed to advance to the semifinals. Former Husker Thorir Thorbjarnsen led Iceland to their first victory in Group C with a 93-76 victory over Bulgaria. Thorbjarnsen came off the bench and had 17 points on 8 of 10 shooting to go along with 4 rebounds and 2 assists in just 15 minutes of work. In other sports news, overnight, England defeated host country Australia 3-1 in the Women's World Cup to advance to the championship match against Spain on Sunday. And finally, some Major League Baseball scores. Earlier today, the Mets defeated the Pirates 8-3, the Tigers edged the Twins 8-7, the Rays beat the Giants 6-1, and the D-backs prevailed over the Rockies 9-7. Currently, the Braves lead the Yankees 2-0 in the third, Blue Jays and Phillies are tied at 2 in the third, and the A's lead the Cardinals 5-0 in the fifth. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
2 to the near side, 1 to the far side. Turn, give it off to Grant. He picks his way inside the 45, bounces to the outside. 40, 35, 30, foot race now. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Snap back to Van Treese. Play actions. Gets hit as he throws. Pass headed down the end zone. Buford goes up and makes the interception at the 1-yard line. Marquise Buford's second pick of the game, and it was created by some pressure on the quarterback, Van Treese.
Red, fed left. Lindsay gets a throw. They stayed with it. And Krause muscles it through a double Buckeye block. Becca Williams, Spring Lake, Texas serves back right. Nice pass, quick attack. Becca, Alec, Big Red, kaboom!
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
I'd love to. I'm going to try to set an over-under on kabooms for the season. It's got to be probably 7-8 a match. Oh, that's probably low. 10 a match.
Yeah.
So if they play, we'll have Cole keep track of it.
Yes.
300 kabooms for the year, maybe for JB.
I'll take the over.
Probably right. John Cook did meet with the media this afternoon. He had not talked to the media, I don't think, really, since they've started practice. Says Caroline Juravicius, who you talked to a few months ago, has the strongest arm in their gym.
Which that was fascinating to hear how that developed with her dad. And she was just throwing, she wasn't as athletic and didn't have that. And she was just throwing a tennis ball up against the wall. And her dad was
played football, NFL guy.
And so some of the things that he implemented with her as an athlete growing up, and she said that she really had to work at it, and that was a big part of her arm, was just throwing that tennis ball over and over again. I think it was a tennis ball.
It's fascinating that I really thought because her dad was a great football player at Penn State, I thought she'd go to Penn State.
Well, and then Harper Murray's dad was Michigan, and her sister's at Michigan,
right.
So
and
we got a couple steals there.
Got a couple steals there. Bergen Riley, according to Coach Cook, has served the best during the first bit of fall practice. Not surprised by that. I think she's going to be a star. Also said he's going to try to divide the teams up evenly for the scrimmage. So those should be pretty contested sets on Saturday night.
That's going to be competitive because they're they're 2 or 3 deep at every position.
Yeah.
So you're talking about having hopefully a pretty exciting match.
So for the fans who are headed there Saturday night, you're going to see some high caliber volleyball. Also said that Harper Murray is focusing on being a 6th rotation player, which means she would not need to be subbed out. It's a lot for a freshman. It's a lot. Boy, if you have a freshman doing that and you have a freshman setter, that's a young team. Hey,
what does he say? The volleyball doesn't know age. And if dogs are gonna bite, they're gonna bite young. So be aggressive.
I guess
be aggressive.
It's hard to win national championships with this much youth, but we'll see. And he also said Lanny Choiboy, who I've not met her yet. I know you talked to her. Says she just doesn't get nervous. Isn't that crazy?
She is awesome. And when I talked to Lexi Rodriguez the other day when they had their media day, and even she said Husker Nation is going to love Laney Choiboy and how she just is is not scared and dives on the floor. And it also says a lot about Lainey that she wanted to come here and even wait her turn behind Lexi, and so, but they are two peas in a pod. Apparently they're like best friends, and Lexi's a huge fan of Lainey, and I think you're going to see a little bit of some Lainey. I don't know how or when, especially with how these rotations are working out, but I think Lainey's going to get some opportunities to play too.
Well, you remember Kenzie and Lexi played together, and Lainey's kind of the new Kenzie Knuckles.
Yeah.
So I think you can find time to get her in there.
Kenzie was making some moves from the back row, and
right.
So I don't know.
I don't know that Lainey's ready to do that. So
hey, she was a hitter even as little as she was in high school, but I don't know. I still don't understand volleyball rotations very well, and why and how and who you put in, when, and all of that. And so if you've got people that you're not subbing out, that takes away opportunities, right? Does it not?
It does. But like last year, we subbed so much that we ran out, and those long sets that would go 28, 26, we ran out of subs, and you get stuck with Lexi or somebody on the front row, and you don't want to try to block. So
right.
That shouldn't be an issue with this team. So, and you're going to start doing some weekly podcasts.
I am. I've got that lined up. We're going to start with Kelly Hunter. We're scheduled to record that on Monday. I'm so excited. We'll have each week a kind of a coach's corner type thing. We're going to chat with the assistant coaches, and we don't hear enough from them, I don't think. So we're going to give you guys a glimpse at getting to know a little bit about the assistant coaches and have them break down the upcoming matches for the week, and then also just about the team and all that. It should be really great. I'm excited about it.
Look forward to listening to those. I know Husker fans will just gobble all of that up. All right, Jim in Columbus on our text line said, I wanted to chime in earlier when you were talking about shortening the game. I was on my walk, so I couldn't answer, but just like to say, if they want to shorten the game, tell the refs to hurry up with their calls. Yeah, that drives me crazy. I'm a fan. I like replay, but I almost kind of wish, Jessica, if they can't determine if a call's been called wrong or right in, let's say, 60 seconds, I would say leave it to what was called on the field. Let's move on.
Yeah, sometimes it's just awful. And then there's so many of them, and it takes so long, and yeah, there needs to be some sort of regulations. And even I feel like volleyball challenges take a long time sometimes.
And those are tough because you're trying to see if a finger moves or if the ball spins a little different. Those are really hard.
I'm wondering, because I feel like basketball reviews are pretty efficient.
They are.
I don't feel like they take long, and they don't change a lot of the momentum. So I'm wondering like what they've done, if it's just not as much to see, and maybe the volleyball, because we've heard Coach Cook talk about this, the Husker Vision cameras and the replays are way better than a lot of, maybe they don't have a great view of video with volleyball sometimes, and that's why it takes, because sometimes I feel like those take a long time too.
Yeah. Also, lost my train of thought, getting old. Let's get to Isaiah. You talked to IGC, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, a couple days ago. He graduated last week, so he wasn't there for the scrimmage. So remember that when you hear Coach Worrell say, man, maybe the offense wasn't quite as good. They didn't have Isaiah, one of their top wideouts.
No, they didn't. He was getting ready to go through graduation festivities, which I know this coaching staff was really proud of. He took, I think, 19 hours. You're going to hear him talk about it, to be able to graduate, and he wants to be able to go all in on football, so he wanted to get that done, and it was really important to him. So here was my conversation with IGC. All right. Well, first of all, let's start with graduation. How awesome was that moment for you to get that degree?
It means a lot. Second person in my family to graduate, in my immediate family. So, it's a big milestone and a goal of mine. So it feels good to kind of have that weight lifted off my shoulders to finally accomplish the bachelor's degree.
And your parents are here, and so how special is just all of it, and to have your parents here and get to see it too?
It meant a lot. Yeah, it definitely meant a lot. I couldn't imagine, getting to this point in my life without them. So having them there was really important to me, and just being able to spend a little bit of time with them in the middle of camp, it was really needed, I feel like, so I enjoyed it a lot.
I visited with Dennis LeBlanc, and he just, again, went on and on about the job that you did to take care of business to get that degree. How important was that for you to do a good job in the classroom and to have that milestone? Yeah,
it was huge. I ended up taking, I think, like 18 or 19 credit hours from the start of January until now. So, it meant a lot because, I wanted this year to be able to kind of focus on football a little bit more and get that milestone knocked off the list. So, it was really important for me to get those hours done and do what I had to do in the classroom.
All right. Well, how's fall camp up to this point?
It's good. It's a grind like always, but, it's been going good. I think, like I said earlier, it's just a lot of things to improve on every single day. There's never, even if we have a good day, quote unquote, like you still are finding things every day to try and work on. So, but, overall, I'm happy, with how things are going. I think the team is definitely in a, trending upward. So we're just trying to live up to the standard that Coach Will set for us and, just keep it there.
I feel like a lot of times with fall camp, the first week's exciting because you're getting back out there and then you're getting the pads on. And this week's kind of tough because then you get into game week. So what goes into this week and this, staying locked in throughout this challenging week?
Yeah, I think this week is just really important in having, like, just Coach Satt talks about unbelievable urgency and attention to detail. So I think we're just really trying to amp up, like, everything in general that we've been doing up to this point. Everything has to go up a notch. So, as far as just effort, flying around, like, it's just the details have to be perfect. And, we can't let off the gas pedal now that we're out of the dorms and stuff like that. So, this week is just as important, if not even more important than the first 2 weeks. So, we're just trying to take it up another notch.
Had a scrimmage right on Saturday. What were the big takeaways?
I didn't get to participate in that because of graduation, but going over the film, there was things that we have to work on as an offense for sure. But like I said, it's just after watching that film and, assessing how that scrimmage went, everything's got to go up a notch. It's just urgency. Everything has to improve. So
seems like the couple times I've been out there, there's a lot of different guys making plays, catching passes for this offense. How have you seen that develop throughout these couple weeks of fall camp?
Yeah, I think the receiver room has improved a lot just in the last week as far as catching the ball, and that was a big thing that Coach G stresses on us every single day. I mean, at the end of the day, that is our job, to catch football. So we have to step up when the offense and the quarterback needs us to make explosive plays. And I've seen a lot of guys starting to emerge more and more as the training camp has gone on and make those plays because we don't have a extremely big room, but we have to what we got, that's all we need really. So we're just trying to stick together and everybody buy in and make plays when the ball's coming to you.
When I talked to you in the spring, you had really great perspective on Coach Garrett and his perspective and how smart he is and everything that he's instilling. But what's been the difference in fall camp compared to what you got to know in the spring?
Not much, really. Coach G, he's a football guy. At this point, it's just, I hate to repeat it, but it goes back to the urgency. Now it's, no longer just, there's not a lot of room for mistakes anymore at this point. So, you just have to really be locked in, attention to detail, and Coach G is really good about that. And at this point, we have a game coming up in 2-3 weeks. So as far as Coach G coaching, not much has changed. He's still, Coach G. I love him, and it's just everybody's got to just step up now even more and go even harder than what we had been doing.
What's been your approach to this fall camp? I mean, you played a lot of football, been through a lot of fall camps, but how did you go into this season, this fall camp, and what you wanted to implement this fall camp?
I just wanted to go in with a clear mind and just not take anything for granted, really. That's the biggest thing. Having the opportunity to be back here again is just huge. So going into this fall camp, it was just really important for me to, make sure I'm doing everything I have to do on it and off the field, in the playbook, in the classroom, and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to, give everything that I have, every single day into this fall camp, and that's just a big thing, because there's no room for regrets, at this point. So just trying to take advantage of every day, every snap.
Great stuff as always. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
He's such a great interview. I'm so happy for him, and hopefully he can translate it. And if we can see just a little bit every game of what we saw in the first game last year, I mean, he's definitely going to be able to help this offense. So it's just a matter of him, continuing to do it week in and week out. But we've seen it that he can do it.
Pretty subtle comment from Coach Rule yesterday was, I don't know that we will need the freshman wideouts in week one. So that means he's leaning on Kemp, he's leaning on IGC, he's leaning on Fleeks, he's leaning on, who am I missing, Bullock?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if Marcus Washington will be back by then.
I think they hope he will be.
Yeah. So,
but, if you're thinking you're going to see Lloyd or Doss or Malachi, maybe not week one, I think they got to try to let them. Plus, conference. It's a big game. It's a conference game. It's a divisional game. So you probably go with more of your veteran guys right out of the gate. So Isaiah is going to be, I think, a big part of the game plan in week 1.
Yeah, I think so too. And you also have to consider too, and he talked about this, he brought up about having these conversations about redshirting guys, and with those 4 games, you can kind of play with it a little bit. And so if you give them a chance to continue to develop and practice and see if that becomes a point, if you can, play in your first game around not playing them, and then you can see if they keep coming along and they don't give you a choice but to put them out on the field, or otherwise you can play around with those 4 games and get them some experience in a different way.
Yeah, good stuff there. Hey, folks, buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. When we come back, we're going to talk to Dr. Chatters, Dr. Lawrence Chatters, one of the higher-ups in the Nebraska Athletic Department. He's going to tell us on some of the projects that they're working on currently as we get ready for another school year about to start. That conversation is next.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast, 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
FNBO free checking is checking that's actually free. No fees or minimums, and now no overdraft fees. It's ever so personal, with people to help every step of the way. And easy with the mobile app that allows you to deposit checks and manage your account wherever you are. So make the switch so you can do more with the Great Big Small Bank. Visit FNBO.com to learn more or stop on by. FNBO free checking. It's ever so free. Member FDIC.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you.
Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
Meet water's bubblier and more energetic best friend. Bubbler Antioxidant Sparkling Water. With tons of flavors, there's one for every occasion. Interviewing for your dream job, hitting the beach, or going on an epic road trip? Pop the top on your favorite bubbler flavor and awesome antioxidants swoop in to balance your body and focus your mind. Right before a boost of natural caffeine shows up to save your day. There's a benefit in every bubble and a happier you just waiting to rise up. Find out more at Drink Bubbler on Instagram.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply.
T&L Irrigation Company knows their way around a field and across it, into the corners, and even through storms. T&L engineers are constantly working on solutions producers need, like the new gooseneck cradle corner system attachment. It greatly improves corner span stability to tackle steep terrain and stand up to high winds. If you're looking to upgrade your corner system or add on new, call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you Wednesday night here on Sports Nightly. Dr. Loris Chatters is one of the executive assistant athletic directors here at Nebraska. Jessica had a chance to sit down and talk to him about some things that are in the works for the athletic department.
How do you feel about the progresses made in when you were hired? And I know, again, you work very closely with Trev Alberts, but in the 2 years that you've been here, how do you feel like what you've got accomplished in your role?
Well, man, I didn't know you were going to ask that question. I'm really very proud and humbled by the things that we've been able to accomplish as a department. What I would say is that when I got here, there was already a lot of work that had been done, specifically in the area of diversity, equity, and inclusion by previous guy, DeJuan Baker, who was here. But when I got here, I got a chance to really take a very critical look at what was happening in our department, expand those opportunities, and also, create unique, I guess you could just say, programs to help give more access to Husker Nation for people that, struggle financially, people that have other barriers, limitations. We created a program across our department that really focuses in on leadership development. And those are things that people can go to, on a monthly basis so that they can continue growing. When I first came on the show, I know I talked about, the importance of good soil, kind of gave a farmer analogy in that, if you have really good soil, there's a lot of different things that can grow in that soil. And that's what we want Nebraska Athletics always to be, especially for our student athletes, but also, of course, for our staff and our fans. We want this to be a space where people can grow. And I think I've really helped to cultivate that, to continue with that farming theme. I've helped to cultivate a space where, people can really grow and people can develop. And, I've tried to also help with the modernization of our department, so taking some of our processes before that were on paper and taking those things into the digital age. And so I've really helped with our performance evaluation component in doing that. And then also just being a thinker, and being a person who can critically analyze things in our department and try to help come up with solutions for some of the problems that we're experiencing right now in collegiate athletics. There's a lot of change that's happening, right? And so I get a chance to sit within that executive space and really help think about how we can continue to be competitive. And of course, our strategic plan is at the forefront of that. So I feel like, it has been a really good, positive 2 years. And when I think back on it, I just think, man, I have been so busy. I've done a little bit of everything. I've been out in the community. I've brought numerous youth into our department for tours and things like that. I've connected with people across our state in so many positive ways. And what I continue to return to is this idea that Nebraska athletics is something very special to our state, and it represents hope. And it also represents, you know, in my opinion, it represents this idea that we can all cheer for the same team. And that's right at the center of everything that I love to do, which is bringing people together. So Nebraska athletics is the glue of our state in that way. And I've just totally enjoyed learning more about it and then helping to spread the word to other people.
You mentioned something too. I mean, you do work very closely with the student athletes and teams, but one of the things that I think is really neat that seems to be a big hit within the staff, which you just hit on about working with the staff, is the lunch and learn. And you have, you know, monthly sessions or where you bring in different kinds of speakers. I mean, you all across the board of people that have gone through. I mean, I'm trying to think. You had Karina LeBlanc, right? And yes. We've had Special Olympians. I mean, just a lot of different people from a lot of different walks that have come in to speak to the staff that people I know take a lot away from. Tell me about that and where that came from and how you find your speakers and all of that. Yeah, so our lunch and learns, those are definitely something that we try to do at least once a month. Sometimes there's a connection to the month from a cultural perspective. So during Women's History Month, we might seek out a woman to come and talk about her experience, different things like that. But those lunch and learns are really opportunities because we're so busy in athletics to actually bring new, innovative ideas into our space and allow people to, during their workday, sit down and learn something new. As a matter of fact, just came from one of those. We have something called the Husker Emerging Fellowship of Leaders here. And so I was just on a panel. I actually participated in one of those lunch and learns before this to talk about leadership and management ideas and different things like that. And so what I see is I see an opportunity internally for our staff, our professional staff, our coaches, everyone to plug in and learn something and really take something away from that. And it's really awesome because there's a lot of people in the community who just would really give anything to be able to come in and talk to the people that are working in this department. So it's kind of easy to find people to speak because they love to share their perspective with people who are competitive and high-level folks. And so one of my favorites, you mentioned it, was having Wyatt Spalding come in and talk to us about his journey. That was so touching to me because he is such a competitor and he's an amazing athlete and he competes in Special Olympics and tennis and basketball, and I've seen him in action. And he is just absolutely committed to competition. And when he came in and shared his story, the fact that, you know, he almost didn't make it when he was born and all of these different types of things, and now he's here sharing a story with us, it was just so impactful, right? And I walked away from that not only feeling humbled to have heard his story, but feeling inspired that I need to see everybody as having the opportunity to compete. And I need to expand my viewpoint of what an athlete is, right? And I think that's what these lunch and learns do. They stretch our thought process so that we can try to see things more openly and try to think of things differently. And that's always been my objective. It's just to bring a different perspective into our department so our staff can learn and they can expand their view of the world. So you've a couple different times mentioned the strategic plan, and you can go online and read that. But I know it's been really important to Trev Alberts. Take me through the process from start to finish of how you guys developed that strategic plan. And I'm sure a lot of tears, blood, sweat, and tears went into developing that thing. So the process of the strategic plan, you know, yeah, you could say blood, sweat, and tears, but it was really a very intentional process. So we worked with a company that actually helped us move through that process of bringing stakeholders together across all departments to think critically about what does the future of collegiate athletics look like? What are some areas that we need to continue striving in and thriving in to make sure that Nebraska athletics stays at the forefront of things? And so we had some listening sessions. We had a giant group of folks that got together from across departments, and we split up into different groups. And then we really took that opportunity to come up with some of these specific objectives and some of the key performance indicators that, you know, would indicate, hey, you're making progress in this area. So we looked at metrics. Then we had to come up with the timeline of how we would go about doing some of these things. And after we did all of that, we were able to work with this company. We sent that information to them. They put it all into a matrix that they sent back to us, and then we reviewed it on a number of different occasions.
just to try to really perfect kind of, what it looks like, and making sure that even if things had changed since we started that process, because it took us, I think, probably about 6 months to do the whole thing. And then when we finalized it, then we created the internal version, which I get to see, which is a bit messy because I continue to go in and look at what's completed, what's in progress, and what's in development. But then we have the really fancy one that's online that people can go and see that's a little less, it has a little less information on it as far as like how the sausage is being made on the back end. But yeah.
It's one thing to just set a plan in place, but like you mentioned, I mean, we just have a bunch of conference realignments and adding new teams, and it's just constantly changing. So I guess that's important too, right, is to be able to evolve that strategic plan as you guys see fit.
Absolutely. So the way I see it, it's a living, breathing document. So there have been some additions, there have been some changes that we've had to make to it because, again, things are changing. And so whenever I sit down with all the department heads and we talk about the progress that's been made, or if they want to add anything or take anything out, because things change in that way as well, we are updating it consistently. And so that's that really kind of messy version that I have, the master plan. But again, we're just monitoring it. We're making sure that people are doing what they said they were going to do. And that's something that's really important to Trev. He said, I don't want this to just be collecting dust somewhere. He's like, I want this to be a document that really is in a dashboard form where we can see what's happening. And so at most of our all staffs, I'll update our staff on this is the percentage of this that's complete. This is the percentage that's in development. This is some of the stuff that, is in progress. And that's the way I look at it. It's kind of a red, yellow, green, perspective.
Is it, and again, I know there's a lot of different goals and initiatives that involve in this, but is it something to give something attainable that we see that you need to make sure that we're hitting these goals so that we're constantly improving? Is that kind of at the core of it, what the purpose is?
That's a great question. So it consists of goals that are like that, but then it also consists of things that we just need to keep doing well, right? So I'll give you an example. I just met with Dennis LeBlanc. He oversees all of our academics here, right? So a lot of his specific components that he put forth in the strategic plan were things that we're already doing, but they're things we have to keep doing well to stay at the forefront. So he would, put something on there like maintain being the leader in academic All-Americans, right? Because they have changed that process of how people can become academic All-Americans, that might not be something we can continue because, there might be some additional criteria that qualify people to be academic All-Americans. We've talked a little bit about that, so we might have to update that, right? But I think there's other parts of it that are just really stretch goals, like create, a very comprehensive view of how things will look when we're using data analytics to analyze everything, and we'd have a whole department built out to do that. That's more aspirational, but again, it's something that maybe we need to be stretching ourselves toward, right? But it's a much bigger goal. So there's the stuff we need to keep doing to stay where we are, but then there's also those things we need to do to get ahead.
Another thing you're really passionate about that's really grown over the last couple of years is the red carpet experience. And I've been fortunate enough to get to stand on the sidelines and see just the pure joy of some of these kids that are getting to experience going to a football game or a sporting event for the very first time. How have you loved and enjoyed the progress and how much people have embraced that over the last couple of years?
So that's definitely something that, it just, for me, Husker athletics is it's such a beacon of hope for people in the state. And not only for becoming elite athletes or just getting together, but just the hope of how an education can change a person's life. And that's really how we've expanded the red carpet experience. So it just started out with a ticket to a game, and you see the kids come in for a game. But what it's expanded to is we've invited some of those same kids back to campus. We give them a tour of the facilities, and then we have student athletes come in and talk to them about not only athletics, but academics. And we help them understand that this university is a place that they can also attend. We've expanded it to different sports. This last year, one of the new sports we added was wrestling. So we had some of our first students come to a wrestling match through the red carpet experience. But it is just, I don't know, to me, that's one of the best things that Nebraska does. I think just to give people the opportunity without the barrier of the financial side of buying a ticket, especially to our sold-out stadium, right? I mean, it's awesome to be able to say anyone can have that opportunity, and that's really meaningful to me. That's what equity is. It's like, hey, somehow you're going to get here. Somehow you're going to figure out a way to get into this stadium, and somehow you're going to figure out a way to go to this university. And so it's one of the most important things I think we get a chance to do every year.
Any changes this year Any additions?
So, from a change perspective, last year I think we probably made the biggest changes as far as adding some new sports. This year, what I will say, which is really awesome, is that not only do we have red and white scrimmage red carpet experience tickets available, but we also have tickets available to Volleyball Day in Nebraska. So awesome. That's again, that's going to be a historic day. I think we're going to break some Guinness World Records that day, and anybody can be a part of it. So we've already extended that opportunity to some folks in the community. I think right now we're sitting at about 145 tickets of red carpet experience people who will be at Volleyball Day in Nebraska. So we are not stopping it at things that, are sold out. We're trying to continue offering opportunities for people to go to those events too.
I just love the red carpet experience, and I get a chance to see the kids up close when we put them on the big screen, and just true joy, the pure joy that they have. They're jumping up and down, and a lot of them, it's their first time they've seen a Husker football game. It's such a neat deal, and I'm glad they're able to keep it going, and even to provide some opportunities to go to some volleyball games and some sold-out games that normally might not have the opportunity to get to go to.
Wonderful. It came out of kind of trying to find something to kind of keep things going with a sellout streak, and this came out of it terrific. Wonderful, wonderful stuff right there. Folks, our Sports Nightly hotline, it's open and available for you, 402-413-2400. It's brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Back with more of the show next.
If you're an unconditional, wholehearted, and ever so loyal Husker fan, you deserve to pay like one everywhere you go. With the free FNBO Husker Visa debit card. Fuel your fandom all season and beyond with a debit card just for you. It's free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get your free Husker Visa debit card at any branch or at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-tamed 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Len and Lime.
Hello.
For new Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip? Works for me.
New Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Do you need to relocate to a different city or state, but don't know where to start? If so, put the power of BHA Real Estate to work for you. BHA will set you up with the best real estate agent in your new town. Have a house to sell first? No problem. They can assist you with that as well. With over 70 years of experience, BHA has a network to ensure one of the biggest transactions in life will be handled with care that you deserve and the service that you can trust. Give BHA Real Estate a call today for all your relocation needs. 308-324-5581.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle. There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sap Brothers. For over 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sapbrothers.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics. Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates may apply and may vary by carrier.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Wednesday night. We mentioned Damon Benning. He's coaching for Omaha West Side again this year. This is week 0 for high schools in the state. There are a handful of games Friday night for high school football in the state. I don't believe West Side plays Friday, but some schools will be having their soap scrimmages, I guess they still call them that, on Friday. But it's here, and the thermometer is going to crank up. Friday's high is supposed to be in the mid-90s, so they'll probably have to stop some of those games for some water breaks. But good luck to everybody, and hope everybody stays healthy during the high school football season. I love walking up to a high school stadium and hearing the band playing. I just get chills when I think about that.
Hey, I heard the band playing in here last night.
The drum line was out here practicing earlier today.
Yeah, it's always exciting.
They work hard.
Yeah, they do.
They really work hard. I had the senior moment earlier in the hour. We were talking about Husker volleyball, and John Cook met with the media. And then we talked about your podcast, which you're going to rotate through the assistant coaches. Kelly Hunter is a 2-time national champion. I wanted to verify that, so I went and looked it up. She did. Huskers won 2 national titles with her as the setter. How many people can say that? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I mean, Nicklin Hames talked about how much she's learned from her. Bergen Riley has talked about how now she's learned from Nicklin and Kelly Hunter. And I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Those two right there.
And our own Lauren Cook. She was a national champion as well on the broadcast. So it'll be here Saturday night, red-white scrimmage. They've got their fan day earlier in the day. It'll be the only time you can go get mass autographs with the team for the season, and that's going to be in the morning at Devaney. You'll have to leave. They won't let you just go camp out at your seat for the scrimmage later that night. They're going to clear it out and then let people back in. Again, we are, this year, having a 1-hour pregame show for Husker volleyball. So JB and Lauren will come on at 5 Saturday afternoon, 6 o'clock at the Devaney Center for the Red-White scrimmage. And then their season begins a week from Friday. They'll play 3 different opponents that first weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is here, and as Jessica mentioned, Husker soccer begins their season tomorrow night up in Creighton at Morrison Stadium against the Blue Jays at 7 o'clock. Huskers went 2-0 in their preseason, beating North Dakota State and Oklahoma. So I think there's a pretty high expectations for John Walker's team.
Yeah, I think so. And they said Creighton will be a tough matchup for them out of the gate.
They're pretty good.
But, with everybody back, minus the backup goalie, the expectations are higher. They've got a good group, and they were young last year and in some situations, but they found a rhythm. They put some really good things together at the end of the season. So if they can build off of that and play like a more experienced team, they could be pretty dangerous.
They have a home match Sunday with Baylor. Have you seen the forecast? Starting Saturday, we're going to have 4 or 5 straight days of 100-plus temperatures. So that soccer match on Sunday is going to be hot.
Yeah, so you might see a lot of players.
A lot of water breaks and a lot of players being subbed in and out for that. All right, 402-413-2400. Still time if you want to be a part of the program with a comment, a text, or a phone call. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
There's a new kind of season ticket when you fly from the Lincoln Airport, the official airport of the Huskers. Now at LNK, choose from fast, affordable, non-stop flights to your favorite vacation spots. All from an airport that's relaxed and hassle-free. It's never been easier to get off the bench and enjoy an adventure with the whole family. Visit GoFlyLNK.com and book your trip today. Let's go.
If unwanted hair is putting you in a prickly situation, give laser hair removal a try. Milan Laser Hair Removal delivers smooth, hair-free skin with permanent results for men and women of all skin tones. So there's no more unwanted stubble, razor burn, or ingrown hairs. Visit any of Milan Laser's 7 Nebraska locations to get 1 free treatment. Ready to never shave again? Call 833-NO-RAZOR or visit MilanLaser.com to book your free treatment and consultation. That's MilanLaser.com.
Only in Nebraska will you find a historic, record-breaking event like Nebraska Volleyball Day to honor women's athletics. The University of Nebraska Foundation invites you to be a part of Only in Nebraska, a campaign for our university's future. Another historic, record-breaking effort to engage 150,000 donors to build the future Nebraska needs right now. It's all possible, and it's all happening here, only in Nebraska. Give to support in you at onlyinnebraska.org.
Calling all Husker fans. Woodhouse Auto Family is thrilled to be a sponsor of Volleyball Day in Nebraska. And to share the excitement, we're giving you a chance to win tickets. As the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics, Woodhouse takes great pride in supporting the Huskers and the passionate Nebraska fan base. And we want to see you in the Sea of Red at Volleyball Day in Nebraska. To enter for a chance to win tickets to the event and learn more, visit woodhouse.com today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Is your garbage disposal not disposing? You had one job. Drains backing up can cause a horrible smell in a home, damaged pipes, and so much more. Some signs that your garbage disposal may be going out include frequent clogs, abnormal and louder noises than normal, or water is leaking from the bottom, just to name a few. John Henry's is here to take care of all the pipes and drains in your home. Call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse. Shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. Still time if you want to be a part of this little chit-chat session, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. Man, have you... These fires in Hawaii have just been devastating. I've been in that town. That's the site of the Maui Classic, and when I was doing K-State, they played in that Maui Classic, so I've been in that Lahaina town, and it's just gone. It's just so sad to see that thing, and a lot of people's lives out there have just been completely upended.
Oh, so sad. So sad. It's so beautiful, too. It's devastating to see the darkness in what is typically just full of color. Why couldn't they get that thing contained?
Well, you know, and the bad thing is their emergency broadcast system didn't work, which should have alerted some people. Because over 100 people lost their lives, and so they didn't get the emergency tones out to people. That could have saved some people's lives. They could have gotten their car and gotten out of there or gotten away from it.
Do they know what started it? Or?
Well, I think there was a brush fire on one side of the islands, and then the winds just came up at like hurricane force type winds, and it just spread so fast. But some bad mistakes that have happened. But I bring this up because UCF, Central Florida, they have an offensive lineman who is a fifth-year senior starter for them. He's from Hawaii. He's going to donate a portion of his NIL money back to the cause to help people. So that's good for that young man to do that.
And with Coach Raiola being from Hawaii, I don't think he's from Maui, but he recruits. I know he has a lot of good connections out there, and so even here, there's some ties out there. I know that it's definitely devastating. And just the people there are just so, they're so family-oriented, and even if they're not related by blood, they call each other nieces and nephews. And I remember Coach Tony Tuioti would tell me that about how, oh, that's my niece. And they weren't really blood-related, but everybody just says uncles and aunts and nieces and nephews. And so if you know one person knows a lot of people out there, and so it's just, it's really, really sad.
There's no way they can hold that Maui Classic in November. They're going to have to move it. They had to move it a couple years ago because of COVID, so now they're going to have to move it again. And again, that's a state that and certainly an island that depends so much on tourism dollars that it's going to really impact that community for a decade until they can get the hotels and some of that stuff rebuilt for people to start coming back out there. They don't want anybody right now because people are trying to put their lives back together, people that live there and rebuild their homes. But I'm not sure who all's in the Maui field this year. I think Creighton played in it last year. They're going to have to move that. But that's way down the list of importance. The bigger thing is for these people to get their lives put back together and get some help out there. But a cool thing by that lineman from UCF to go ahead and donate some money back to the cause.
Really cool for him. Then that's the good things about NIL. And those stories do exist where people are giving back, and I know Jazz Shelley gave a portion of hers back too, and so there's definitely that. That's the good side of the NIL. I know we talk a lot of the negative and the bad and the not so pretty stuff, but that's the good stuff.
Yeah, really good. All right, tomorrow night on the program, we're hoping to lasso Josh Banderas, former Husker in the black shirt. He's going to help us out some here this fall on the broadcast. Hoping to talk to him a little bit, and we're going to talk to one of the Bullocks tomorrow. You had a chance to grab. They've kind of been one on offense, one on defense, a bit of a story in camp.
Yes, Alex Bullock has made a heck of some plays out there, and he's certainly been flashing, and we're hearing some of the other guys talking about him too. So I think he's going to be someone that this offense can rely on.
We'll have that conversation for you tomorrow night as well. Jessica will make a brief appearance. We have a big sponsor event going on tomorrow night at the stadium for people that have signage in the stadium. So she's going to go talk to some of those people. So she'll be a part of the program for a little bit, and then I'll steer you to the rest of the way. Thanks to Camden, to Jake. I'll even Cole. I'll throw him in there tonight. Have yourself a great night. Joke Thursday headed your way in 24 hours. Oh, can't wait for that.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Our planet, it's hungry. Blessed with millions of acres in this great nation, our farmers work tirelessly to feed the planet through seasons of uncertainty and seasons of growth. It's a tough business to do alone. As owners of Central Valley Ag, it's together that we move forward. There's room at the table. Find your seat at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
There's no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland, and have been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sapbrothers.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Nebraska Athletics.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.